Welcome to the Fairfield Art Association's first Celebrating Art and Canvas Show Artists event. Today's all about celebrating and getting to know one another, and we're glad that you all came. I'd like to introduce the Fairfield Art Association current board members and who helped put this together, and they include my co-president, Kella, our secretary, Nancy Hebner, treasurer Deb Doyle is not here today, and then Karen Howring. Karen and Nancy were in charge of the food and the wine and everything. So. David Kramer, John Preston, and it's hard to stand up here and see everybody. Eileen Hawthorne, Mackenzie Champ, who is my daughter and just left, I believe, and new members Lindsay Lippincott, and Jan Bork, who is also not here, who had surgery. So those are our current board members. Ingrid Satterstrom is our very friendly and very helpful studio sales gallery attendant. And then while I'm introducing, I thought I'd introduce some special founding board members, charter members, and they are sitting over there. It's a little hard for them to move over. And that is Bob Glocke, who is president. He was president in 1967 and 68, and that was when I was still in high school.
Well, make him feel old.
Bob Tree, who is our ever loyal supporter. And Dorothy Bell was a past secretary and originator of our garden tour that we named our garden tour after. And the table in the far back is named after, if you can see the courthouse, from Dorothy Bell's garden. So that's after Dorothy. And also, Mark Schaefer is a chartered member, and you'll hear more from him. And he was a past president also. These are people that were the art movers and shakers 50 years ago.
Oh, make him feel old.
And they're still involved in moving and shaking today.
I need to go get my wheelchair.
Now, other past board members that I know are here today, or I think are here today, Terry Klein. He was here. He was our president from 2004 to 2009. Elaine Duncan. Travis Hunt, I think, was supposed to be here. Wendy Reed is here. And Deb Finney was supposed to be here. I'm not sure if she is. So those are all past board members. Important partners with the Fairfield Art Association include Rustin Lippincott, the director of the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center and the Convention and Visitors Bureau in this building, and all the staff. They're very important. Coordinating with the spaces here in this facility are always transpiring and then mutually beneficial for both. The Fairfield Art Association always strives to visually enhance the building in any way that we can, whether it be this main gallery exhibit, our permanent collection down the back hall, the Art Association Artist Sales Gallery over here in studio, whether it be the garden pots or outside, we water them, we take care of them, we weed, we do whatever we need to make it look good. Also the conference room. Or we painted windows this December for Art Walk. So thank you, Rustin and staff. And Mark Cohen. Mark Cohen is our new Arts and Convention Center chairman. Thank you. It's hard to believe that the Art Association is in its 49th year. Rather than telling you all about what we've done and what we do and what we have done, there are brochures out there for everyone with lots of pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. It shows our contributions to the community, our sculptures that we've given, all the events that we've done. So take one of those home with you. There should be one for everybody. Since today is about celebrating, we're not going to push membership, but if you would like to join or pay your membership dues today, you can see Ingrid over there, and all memberships that are collected before March 1st will be put in a drawing for tickets, 2 tickets to an artist series. So. And now, Kella.
I'm going to remind you about the
Talk
drawing.
loud here, Barbara.
Oh, okay. All right. The drawing door prize, which goes to the Artist Series Illusion Mystery Tour, February 7th. And the fishbowl is over there, so if you haven't signed up, please do. And I want to welcome all the artists here that are participating in our 2014-15 membership exhibit. And introduce yourselves if you don't know each other. And I want to explain a little bit about what we're going to do with our installation this summer is provide the artist or the participant a piece of canvas that will be like a banner. Now we're working out the issues of it that will be hung in the different nodes. And right now we're just working with like a scroll. And it probably won't be this wide. It'll be just on both sides, which you may be, the artist may have to jostle the other side or whatever. It'll be weighted down on on the bottom. It'll be attached to the, what do we call those?
The top of the pole, the platform.
Yeah, the platform, yes. And so this is just like the beginning phase of saying, what are we going to run into if we give people a piece of primed canvas and then they prime the back? So I took this canvas and it was primed on this side, and I primed it on this side without attaching it to anything. And it started curling, which was kind of unique on the sides. But that's the phase we're in now. So use your heads up of what we're going to have as an art installation. It's going to be like a banner that's painted on both sides, and it will be painted out with the notes. Okay?
Hopefully a lot more visual artists will be able to participate rather than a sculpture and something real nice.
Yes, and there'll be guidelines to it too, so that therefore, I know somebody mentioned today about cutting out of the canvas so that you have windows in the canvas. I mean, yeah, I guess there's lots of possibilities attaching to it, you know. Okay. And with that being said, David, something to say?
In November, during the reception of our membership show, we had opportunity for the public to vote on a People's Choice Award, and that award went to John Preston. We'd like to thank the Fairfield Cultural Alliance for a grant for a portion of the cash awards that we used for this membership show. Our judge, many of you know, Mark McWhorter, and he couldn't be here today. He wanted to be here, but he wasn't able to. He is an Ottumwa artist and longtime instructor of Indian Hills. He sent along an overview statement for all the artists. He said that everyone that participated in this show should be proud of their paintings and their inclusion in the exhibition. The square is one of the most challenging formats to use for creative and effective composition. The artworks included have great originality, variety, and design. Every painting in this exhibit is both effective and successful. I very much enjoyed the opportunity to view your artwork. Thank you for allowing me to serve in this capacity, and I feel honored. So at this time, what we're going to do is we're going to start announcing the 4 winners, and they're in no particular order. All right, the first award goes to Steve Tiffany.
And which one is that?
If you want to go stand by it or point to it, and then I'm going to read what Mark wrote about it. All right. He says that this is an exciting composition of repeating forms and complementary colors. Both those qualities remind me of the work of Paul Gauguin. The design of this painting, with its almost stained glass window-like series of positive and negative forms, is extremely effective.
Thank you.
The next award goes to John Preston. And it's tucked away in this corner. The judge's comments on this artwork is, a quiet bend in a stream, nothing more, nothing less. Subtle color, striking value contrasts make this little painting so compelling to look at. The reflection of the sky in the foreground that reaches up into the painting is a great compositional element to move the viewer's eye up into the painting, right up into the overhanging trees and the dead wood snag at the bend. The artist has created a great impression of truth and place. When I study this painting, I don't doubt that John has witnessed this scene, even if he made it up. It's that And we have an award and then a cash prize.
Okay. The next award is issued to Kara Conant. Am I standing in front of yours? The judge said almost monochromatic, almost abstract. This forces the viewer to focus on the patterns made by the flower. The artwork is masterfully painted and wonderfully controlled. I appreciate that the composition is almost symmetric, but not quite. This is a characteristic of design that I have always found enjoyable in early Renaissance Florentine paintings.
And the last one is Deb Bauman. Deb's figurative painting has a similar use of positive and negative forms as in Tiffany's painting. You can see this in the way Deb has approached the design of the chairs, the stools, and tables. It's almost like stained glass window. That is where the similarities end, though. This painting has a wonderful feeling of casual, friendly comfort. The light flooding into the painting creates a great sense of space within the room, and that's what first drew me to this work of art.
Now, since our judge couldn't be here, we have a wonderful person here in our own community, Mark Schaefer, that could do judging and critique really well. So we asked Mark to come and do a critique on the artwork. And do all the artists here want to have their work critiqued? Is there anyone that does not? Okay. So we'll bring them up one at a time and put up here, and Mark will do this. Mark is a wonderful artist, a former art teacher at the high school, is now very involved with the Carnegie Museum. I think probably most of you do know Mark, and I'm sure we'll have fun hearing his comments. And we will bring up the canvases one at a time.
A point of clarification,
I was never president of the Art Association. I was vice president for 10 years.
At one time, you
Was I?
were, what did we call it? Director.
I'm a terrible president. Oh, I was director like right out of college, okay. But I wasn't president.
Okay. And I am volunteer director.
If I start thinking about what I'm saying, sometimes my voice drifts off. So if you can't hear me, just kind of give me a little nudge.
We're going to start with David Kramer's.
All right.
Oh, man. That's not
Well,
fair.
he's already gotten his critique.
He personally got it.
Yeah, I'm done with him.
Okay.
No, what I said about David's, right away it reminded me of William Harnett, who was a 19th century trompe-l'oeil artist, American, who did a lot of, textured wood and nails and letters and things tacked up. And I really liked all of his variety of textures. He told me it's basically out of your head, right? Yeah. It's kind of made it up. So I thought that was a nice little juxtaposition of textures and shapes. This is very pretty. Who's the artist? Nice. Somehow the signature evokes a kind of translucent, reflective quality in the water. I mean, it's like something I noticed later on, but when I did notice the signature, I thought, oh, that really plays well against the rest of the painting. And that may seem kind of trivial, but it was just a nice little, kind of like the cherry on the cupcake, as it were. But it's a lovely picture. And that little bit of asymmetry that's introduced, and I think it's always fun. I always like doing this in my paintings, wrapping the picture around the side. That's always a fun thing to do. Well done.
That's one thing I think next year, if we do this again, we're going to say no frames, paint around the sides, or do something to make it feel finished on the sides. That's our fault.
I love, who is this artist? Nice, beautiful colors. They're so soft and just kind of almost muddy in places, but they're still fresh. And I like that when that happens. 'Cause it takes it beyond the kind of candified stereotype of pastels. You've got these kind of deeper, richer tones in here, denser forms, and then you move up to the lattice work above. So it's a nice variation, subtle tonal variation. It's very pretty. Thank you.
Is this artist here? Yes, this was Kathleen Taché. And this is Pam Lander.
Okay, let me show it to me right to face on. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm good. I really like the linear quality, the undulating quality of the shadows, cast shadows. That's a nice rhythm. It plays well against the ruts in the road and is echoed in the clouds, but not specifically. That's very nicely done. And I like the richness of the blue. It's darker than maybe a sky would be on a just stereotypical idea of what a sky is, but it works. It creates a nice, bold contrast, which really makes the other colors pop. Well done. Thank you. I'm not being too long-winded. When I found out I was going to do all of them,
Well,
I thought, oh my Lord. Is this Kathleen?
This, yes, Emily.
Yeah, is she here? I think she's out of town. She's one of my rival art teachers from Columbus Junction, I believe. Yeah, but that's a nice little painting. It's almost like Marcel Duchamp's nude Descending the Staircase. It has those kind of repeated layered forms. And I hadn't thought of that till just now, but the colors kind of remind me of that too. And I don't know if she's retired now or not. She's old enough, I think. Well, I'm old enough. I'm old enough, I can say that. And so who is this?
This one is Brett Hendricks.
So I like the reflections on that tabletop. Those are magical. The only thing I would really like to see is maybe a little more contrast between the leaves and that background. Maybe strengthen the highlights, because it gives you a sense of the form receding into space when you have the back edge dark like that. But maybe if the stem, I don't know, just take a couple of little brush strokes to pull that out a little bit. But the colors are very nice, and I like the plain purple on that edge, and then it wraps with a slight border around the edge, around the front, which sets things off. And here again, you have a very symmetrical image, but the reflections and the variations in the background take it away from just being, slap in the middle. Gives it that subtle variation that helps make it a successful painting. Very good.
This is Janet Joy Ayers.
I like the richness, the saturation of these colors. It just really pops. Was this done with a painting knife? Did you use a painting knife or just palette knife? Yeah, very nice. I should try that more often. I don't do that. But yeah, it's very rich. I love the contrast between the darks and the lights. A nice interplay of the warm and the cool, complementary, with the punches of yellow. Well done.
Is Dave Patterson here? Okay. I'm getting to know some of you, so I apologize if I don't recognize your name. I wasn't here when some of these came in. Usually if I'm here, I know.
I really like the soft wrap of this kind of warm ivory. And it looks like you've textured it. Did you put some, like a gesso or something on there? I like that texture because the cast shadows on that border create a nice look. And then what are in the craters here? Mica. Nice. What is it? Not mica. Oh, and the blue goes clear to the edge on that side, doesn't it? Does it wrap? Excellent. Yeah, those are the little subtleties you can introduce to a otherwise deceptively simple composition, but it lends an air of sophistication and richness that wouldn't be there otherwise. Cool. I like that.
It's always fun to see them come in and how different they can be. Oh my goodness.
Well, and this is such a wonderful show just to look at. Okay, who is this for?
This is Catherine Layer.
Is she here? Yeah. Oh, great. Well, I'm a sucker for garden statuary, so I saw that. Is this a particular spot? Is it in Europe someplace?
It's, San Souci and Potsdam.
Okay, it's beautiful.
Outside of Berlin.
I would like to see a little more contrast between the head and shoulders with the sky. This is so strong right here, and I think if you were to maybe heighten the shadows on the head and shoulders, that would punch it up a little bit. But you have these wonderful repetitions of the stylized topiaries in the background, and I like the kind of the personal interaction between the figure. Is that you?
Yeah,
It's
that's
self-portrait.
that's my
Okay.
dog.
Okay.
That ageless theme, you know.
And what was the title?
The dog.
What was the title again?
Pardon me?
What was your title? I can't remember.
Ageless.
Okay, so you're kind of getting a positive reinforcement. The white hair with the white hair. So you're kind of reinforcing each other with this classic piece of art. Yeah, I like the story it tells a lot.
Carol Nicolak.
Excellent. Oh, I love the smoky, like the smoky blue grays. There's something about a pale yellow with a smoky blue like that that's always real attractive. Is this a particular spot or just? Okay. Very nice. I like that little glow. just along the tree line there. And your placement of your signature is spot on. It's very, very elegant. Well done. Thank you.
Carlene's here, right?
Excellent.
I'll give a promo. Carlene is going to have the next exhibit in our main gallery.
Good. Well, I'm not a dog person, but this kind of makes me want to be one. Is this your dog? I heard, okay. I don't know why this, I like the way the paws sort of fade into the grass. I mean, you get that sense of weight into the turf without really spelling it out literally. And I think that's, and it also kind of pulls the paws forward, and it gives some depth that it's not as literal as the definition of the forms at the top around the head, but that works really well. I like that a lot. And the colors are lovely. The way you've repeated the rusts and auburns in the body in the underpainting in the background is spot on. Nicely done. And you obviously understand the anatomy of the dog. The drawing underneath all that is strong, so that's good. Well done.
And is Ann Shook here? Anyone want to hear critique?
Oh, you may as well. Why not?
Okay,
Is that metallic?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like old statuary, I'm a sucker for anything that's got gold in it. So I really like the way that's been orchestrated. And you've got these unexpected little squirts of, like little splatters of something, or maybe little flicks of the brush. And it makes a nice little sort of, it's a real informal kind of paint, handling of the paint anyway, but that's an unexpected addition. It's almost like it's the underpainting, or the preliminary sketch was put on after the painting was done. And I kind of like that.
Tony Stanger? I really like this one, so I want to hear about it.
Okay. Isn't that cool? Well, if you're familiar, there's a painting by Georgia O'Keeffe of clouds. They're real stylized, and they get smaller and smaller as they get toward the horizon. And this is kind of reminds me of that, but only vaguely. I think what I really like is this sort of atypical big blob here that wraps around the corner, and then everybody else gets kind of tidy and horizontal and all nice and lined up at the bottom. So you've got an interesting juxtaposition of mood and handling of the form, which is good. Nice gradation of color. Purple and yellow. And so now we have another purple and yellow kind of.
I live in Hawthorne.
Where are you? Where'd you go? There you are. And was this the pastel? It's oil pastel. Oil pastel. And she and I were talking earlier, would it have been breaking the rules if she glued her sandpaper on first?
No, we just, last year, we had so many things falling off the wall. It was a problem. So
But
we
anyway,
tried to eliminate
If you
that.
glued it really good.
Yeah, you just gotta make it stick.
But you still have those beautiful, always loved teaching oil pastel because it was almost a foolproof way of getting the kids to blend and layer color that wouldn't happen otherwise. But you've got a lot of nice variations in the darks and lights. And the yellow is almost too isolated from this dark corner here, but you've got just that little bit of intermediate color that pulls it together. It's still abstract, but it ties as well, so I think that's very successful. And each corner is different. I guess I would have, and I'm not saying you should have, but I guess I would have thought, oh, I need more yellow on that side, but you didn't do it that way, and that's fine. I think it works. It works. But it's got a nice kind of that radial, kind of circular, fanning kind of thing going on. Well done.
Is Ann Bolsold here?
Yeah, I like that upholstered look. That's cool. It'd be cool to upholster your canvas and then paint it.
Jim Lammert, and Jim was one of our winners last year.
That's beautiful. Of course, from where I'm sitting, I can see the edges, but the edges on this are nice. Well, it looks like that's the underpainting, and he sort of left it as it was in the beginning, and then did his, isn't that scumbling when you do the light on, or is it light on top of dark? Is that scumbling? Anyway, I think it is. Anyhow, I like how he did all that. I like the movement across the surface of the apple. That surface contour is nice. Excellent. Nice rich colors.
This is by a new artist in town, Christopher Tiffany.
Yeah, Christopher and I visited a little bit beforehand. I commented on the eye contact between the shepherd boy and the Christ child. It's absolutely riveting. And I didn't notice it at first. And when I did, that's all I could see. Which is amazing because this is so dark and kind of, actually at first, I remember Van Gogh's The Potato Eaters. I thought, oh, this guy's doing the potato eaters. And then I got in there and saw what it really was. And then I saw the eye contact between the two figures, and I forgot all about the Van Gogh. But beautifully done, very, very, very touching, as a beautiful mood. And I like the way the halo, this just popped into my mind, but like on the Ed Sullivan Show when they used to spin the plates on the stick, it's like he's got this little halo. It's just kind of, it's very childlike and playful. Yeah, if I were God, I'd have a halo that spun like that.
And Christopher works at
Bovard.
Bovard Studio, so he's working in stained glass, so I'm thinking...
We'll see. I think that'd probably translate pretty well. And wouldn't it be cool to have a stained glass window that was that dark? That would just, that would be
His
great.
last name is Tiffany?
Oh, my goodness. And this is by Irene Murphy.
Where are we? Oh, there you are. Oh, this is so pretty. It's so light and airy. It's like a sugar bowl. It's so sugary and sweet, but in a good way. I like all these feathered little edges around, and the green center plays so nicely against the leaves. It creates unifies it. It's kind of realistic, but it's also decorative and abstract, so it's well done. And here again, it looks like bare canvas on the edge, but because she pulled it, instead of pulling the painting to the side, she pulled the side to the front. And I think that's effective. Good idea.
Cindy Blue.
Well, and Cindy's had her critique too. Not really. No, this is interesting to me because the last painting I saw of Cindy's was very meticulously, kind of super realistic, very, I don't want to say anal retentive. That wouldn't be that wouldn't be kind. No, I don't mean that at all. But very, very precise, very finely rendered. And this is really fun to see all this texture and goobering around and playing with the paint. And the thing I said to her, when she's tired of that, then go back to the photorealistic stuff and combine the two and see what happens. So that's really exciting. Well done. And you're not anal retentive. It takes one to know one.
That part, that's good. Barb Grimmer.
Oh, hi, Barb. Oh, this is kind of like that cloud picture, except in reverse. Instead of it's like if you turn it upside down, you'd have, that would be a fun pair to hang beside each other. So is this out of your head photograph, someplace you've been?
From our farm pond.
Really? So you a fan of Monet?
What?
Are you a fan of Monet and his water lilies, or are you just?
It's personal.
Okay, that's lovely. All these deep, rich colors. It's a real unusual combination of purples and indigos and with the little punches of yellow. Very nice. I like the way the sky gets picked up in the water. Good job. Nice sense of depth.
She brought this in the day I was working on mine, which is also water lilies.
Ah,
Oh, no. This is Joy Schindler.
there you are.
Yep.
I love that pheasant. I like his little, he's like a little folk art kind of stylized pheasant. I like the little tuft on the back of his head. It's very charming. And the bale has a nice energy, and that little bit of pink in the sky, it's good. And that little wisp of white, if you didn't have that there, that top part would be just kind of, well, monochromatic, but that just gives it that little bit of emphasis. The only thing I would recommend, your greens are a little raw, your other colors are much more subtle, and maybe kind of tone those down, the greens down a little bit, or somehow introduce some green someplace else. But it's a fun picture, and the round bales have such a nice energy. Well done.
And Victoria, I never say this name right, last name. Guthrow.
And where are we? Oh, rats. Well, it's still fun. And those are shells, right?
Yeah.
Shells and buttons. I like the combination of the natural shell with the manufactured items and the paint. And it's just kind of a fun, just celebratory, kind of confetti, kind of, oh, let's just have fun with this and not worry about deeper meaning. Just make something that's fun to look at and fun to do. So well done.
This one is by Catherine Alto, and she was a winner last year too.
This is something. It's, when you first see it, you think it's very abstract, but then you realize, oh, that's a biker biking into a tunnel at sunset or something. Anyway, it's nice. And I don't know how well it reads from a distance, but up close, it has all this mystery. The little stars in the sky play nicely against that strong glow of yellow in the tunnel. Well done. Pardon me, I'm getting over a cold. And she framed that, didn't she? I like the frame. Maybe it breaks the rules, but I like it a lot.
And we did tell people no frames, and we took them off. And then it's like,
Yeah. But that's
So next year in our guidelines, we'll be more specific.
that's a beautiful painting.
This one is by Candy DeFries.
Is
Is she here?
darn, because I want to know what kind of sand to use.
It's from California.
Okay.
Right off the beach.
Okay. Well, at the museum, we've got some golf tee molds. They used to use the damp sand, and I want to mix sand with glue and make me a permanent golf tee as part of an exhibit. So, looks like she's the person to ask.
I don't know if Phil Hirschler is here. I didn't see him. Okay.
Yeah, I like the. It's funny how the mist at the bottom of the waterfall. It's in the distance, but it's kind of coming towards you at the same time, almost like it's another figure just beginning to materialize next to that kind of mystical figure in the stream. So that's it creates a kind of a tension in the composition that is appealing. It's a waterfall, but it's not a. It's almost like there's a time-space continuum that's snapping open, and there's a portal into another. What's it? Who knows?
Rick McCarty?
So we've got cool colors, and somebody's just kind of playing with forms. The sides, I would either smudge up the sides more or tidy up the sides a little bit. I think that detracts somewhat, but it's got a nice rhythm, repetition.
Ingrid.
Where's Ingrid? Oh, there she is. I love these colors.
She had fun.
And I love this little bit of orange in the middle. That's such an unexpected addition. Because if that wasn't there, it would be pretty, but it wouldn't have a center of interest, really. And that's a nice, subtle touch. So is that just brush strokes?
Yes.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I just used two colors except for that little bit of
Nice.
orange and red.
And I like the single line wrapped around the side, just that one little part. That's good. Oh, more upholstery.
Wendy Reed.
Okay, Wendy and I have already talked about this. See, I figured she did that, all that was tatted or hand crocheted, but it still sounded kind of complicated. You did the leaves on the machine?
Sewing machine.
That's beautiful. It's
And then-
magical.
And the background is quilted.
Okay. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's magical. It's so painterly. Because at first I thought it was a painting, and I thought, well, gee, I wonder how she did that. And then I saw that it was really thread and stuff. So, and here again, it's got that nice upholstered framework. It's gives it a nice presence. Very good.
Armando Tello.
Is Martha here? I like the intensity of the eyes. They kind of look at you and past you at the same time. It has a kind of a visceral tribal look about it. I like the richness of almost the sculptural quality, not just of the fruit, but also of the leaves as well. Nice colors. Oh, we're almost done.
Getting close.
This is hard work. I always forget. A hoot.
Laura Weinberg.
What a hoot. It really is. So these are, I enjoy how the feathers are really worked into the paint up here, but then the beak is a little more, you've kept the integrity of the feather more, which creates a nice sense of depth. So if you hadn't done that up there, it would have been too one-dimensional. But that is really fun. Now what's all this stuff down in here? Dryer lint?
Walmart had a bow.
Yeah, like a boa.
Okay.
Thing, and I ripped it off.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, so it's feathers.
Yeah.
It's like an ostrich feather boa or something. Okay, excellent. Nice textures. It's a lot of fun. Maybe if you had maybe introduced a little bit of painting, like an eyelid or a little something on those goggle eyes, because you wanted to pop, but that might integrate it into the rest of the composition a little bit more. Or even take some of the feather boa and make it like a textured lid with the strands of feather. That might be kind of cool. So anyway, nice. It's a lot of fun.
Amanda Mozinski.
This one has a lot of mystery. It's one of those, you think it's just an abstract piece, and then all of a sudden these two red slashes look like eyes, like the eyes glowing in the dark, and it has, the richness of the blue is really nice too. You think it's all blues, and then you see a little bit of aqua in there. It's neat. I like it. Here again, if the side were finished, the edges, I think that would help it.
Dory Lumen. She's from out of town. I don't think she made it, but
That's really fun. The black outlining really makes it pop. Is it Dubuffet that did the big sculptures with the black outline, kind of organic shapes? Reminds me of that a little bit. And it's interesting on the sides, she does less of the black outlining on the edges than she does on the front. And I think that makes a nice transition into the painting.
Diane Gallner is not here, but I really like this piece.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
I didn't even know she painted until recently.
Yeah, it's almost like watercolor. It's very,
It is, it's partly watercolor and part oil.
part oil. Cool. Well, that explains why it has such a different, you've got different senses of depth. You think, oh, that's a mountain, and then you think, no, it's not. It's a stripe. I mean, it's organic and abstract and landscapey, and it's not all at the same time. I like these little floaty shapes down at the bottom. Excellent.
The last one,
You sure?
yes, because the others are not here, and this is mine, so it'll be the last one.
Got to save the best to last. I'll wait till Susan gets all done there. This is a lot more angular than I've seen before. More angular.
I did it fast.
I like it, but that's okay. But I like the kind of the wedge the way the wedge shapes kind of build up the leaves, and the way it's kind of high on the page, on the canvas. I like the space at the bottom, and that little bit of dark in the middle. Yeah, that's a nice departure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, it's got things that are familiar to me about your work, but it's also new.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
It's something to get me going again.
At our age, it's always nice to do something new.
I want to congratulate our winners again, Carrie Conant, Steve Tiffany, Deb Bauman, John Preston, and then John Preston for the People's Choice Awards.
You're welcome.